Tony D and Little Joan with a screenwriter's rant on the Sacrifice Game, another slasher movie where the tables get turned on the slashers. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books, links in the description. Comedy horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys, Joan. Books 1 through 13. Available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. So, the premise is there is a town in which every year a bunch of people just go around murdering people. They find couples, or in this case 3 young women, who are home alone. They decide to go in there. They're gonna sacrifice them. It's another one of these sick, twisted movies that, it's not sick. It's not so much sick as it is boring. But this Christmas, so it's going to be Christmas, and they turn the tables on the killers. So that much is good, I guess. They kill a bunch of people, but then they get to these 3 girls and they turn the tables. And also there's a bunch of, there's a bunch of demonic books in the house. And they're just total psychopaths. It's from Shudder, so it'll be a high-end slasher, I'll say. Written by Jen Wexler and Sean Redlitz. Directed by Jen Wexler. Here's your resident head crazy. He's going to sacrifice the girls and say all sorts of mean things to them. And, it just doesn't interest me. It's so boring. Because the motivations for the killers, it's just so pedestrian. It's like, well, they're crazy, and this is what they do every year. Okay. It's just not interesting. It would be more interesting if, for instance, since it's called the Sacrifice Game, and they see themselves as sacrificing their victims, that the main characters are crazy in at least a different way. Maybe they think they have to sacrifice. They don't want to, but they have to kill people in order to satiate some demon. And then you have to decide during the course of the movie whether the demon's real or not. And maybe it's metaphorical, and maybe it's real, or maybe it's very subtle in between kind of thing. That to me would be slightly more interesting. That they're all crazy, not very interesting. It sort of gives the filmmaker carte blanche just to have the actors chew up the scenery and, say big and wild things, and then do crazy, outlandish things, and then at the end, when they're horribly murdered, just like the people they killed, well, it's just desserts. It's just so boring, by the books kind of slasher stuff for me. Which is why I can't watch these movies. They just make me go to sleep. First act, there are these 3 girls. They're in a house, and they talk about the story that's going around of this group of people that go to houses and just horribly murder people. Why they haven't been stopped, no one knows. So, of course, after talking about them and showing them, maybe in fantasy, dramas in their heads, or maybe they're actually showing where they are leading up to the point at which they meet the girls. The second act begins when they go to the girls' house and then push their way in, and now they hold the girls hostage. So they hold the girls hostage, and they're going to kill them, and they're going to do all these horrible things, and they make light of Christmas and the holidays, and it's all very dark and weird and stupid. And then finally, at some point, the girls escape, and then they turn the tables on their attackers, and one by one, I would think they end up killing them, because they're just total psychopaths, and that's, by movie logic, that's all they deserve, is to be killed by the end of the movie. And of course, at some point, just when you think they're all dead, the lead guy comes back for one last, he's not quite dead, he crawled up the side of the cliff after we pushed him off, and he's badly wounded, but this time we'll kill him. So I'm not sure what year this takes place. The clothes and hair look a little dated, so this may take place in the past, which would help it a little bit. because at least you can eliminate all the cell phones and stuff. I mean, it looks like, the lettering and the film sort of look to it gives it kind of a 70s vibe. So it may take place in the 70s. Makes people more isolated. The smartphones aren't there. You also got this stuff going on. That's kind of cool. Again, if it was hinted at that maybe there's a real demon or something, maybe they found the books and they were all driven crazy. At least that would be interesting. And then maybe halfway through the movie, like one of them frees themselves, but it's too late. He's committed all sorts of acts of horror, and now all he wants to do is turn against his former compatriots, and then he sacrifices himself to try to save the girls. Something like that. I mean, mix it up, man. So yeah, I mean, but again, if you're into this stuff, Shudder, it's usually pretty top tier. I don't know. This feels like a bit of a weak pitch from them, but let's see if there's something better in the synopsis. It's bad enough the boarding school students Samantha and Clara can't go home for the holidays, but things take a deadly turn when a murderous gang arrives on their doorstep just in time for Christmas. Yeah, I don't like the merger Christmas with these kind of movies either. Christmas is supposed to be a nice time. You're going to do a movie about murder. Don't do it at Christmas. Don't taint Christmas with your stupid slasher movie. I get it. What was it? Silent Night, Deadly Night? The one about the Santa Claus or whatever. I mean, yeah, I just don't see it as a particularly... I mean, there was another slasher movie I almost did, but I'll save that for another time. Slasher movies are already, in my view, a weak concept. You need to really... you really need to bring something new to the table here. Change up the dynamics. But, so, if you want to see another slasher, again, I think it does take place in the 80s. I mean, there's a record player. Not too many of them around these days. Maybe the 70s. So, maybe it's good. I don't know. And that's it for me, Tony D. and Little Joan. Check us out on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble for our more bass takes. If you can find a more bass take, I say take it. I'll be at the Jersey Shore Vintage Show on Saturday in Whiting, New Jersey. So check that out. Links below. And then on Sunday, I'll be at Lucille's Country Cooking in Warren, New Jersey from 10 to 2. Hope to see you there. We'll see you tomorrow.